With the field for next week's U.S. Open nearly set, a pair of former champs top the list of favorites according to Las Vegas oddsmakers. Dustin Johnson won his lone major 2 years ago at Oakmont, while Rory McIlroy took home the first of his 4 majors at the 2011 U.S. Open at Congressional. They now share top billing for Shinnecock according to the Westgate Las Vegas Superbook, which lists both Johnson and McIlroy at 12/1. When odds opened following the Masters, Johnson and McIlroy were listed as 10/1 co-favorites alongside Jordan Spieth, who has now drifted to 14/1. Tiger Woods, who opened at 25/1 in April, has been bet down to 16/1 following top 25 finishes at both the Players' Championship and the Memorial Tournament. Here's a look at the latest odds, with sectional qualifying now complete and the season's second major just a few days away. 12/1, Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy 14/1, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Ricky Fowler, Justin Rose 16/1, Tiger Woods, Jason Day 20/1, John Ram 25/1, Brooks Koepka, Hideki Matsuyama 30/1, Phil Mickelson, Patrick Reed, Henrik Stenson, Tommy Fleet. Open on his way to the Fort Worth Invitational, Brooks Koepka took a side trip to Houston to catch an Astros game. In addition to the A-list seats behind home plate, the defending U.S. Open champion was given a tour of Minute Maid Park by Astros owner Jim Crane, which include the training facility where the World Series champions work out. On the wall, a quote from Hall of Fame first baseman Jeff Bagwell caught Koepka's attention. "Work hard, play hard or leave." Jeff Bagwell. Koepka befriended Crane through his relationship with swing coach Claude Harmon III, who is based at Crane's club, the Floridian, in Palm City, Florida. During a workout the following morning, Harmon took out his smartphone and took a photo of Koepka squatting in front of Bagwell's words and made a mental note of Koepka saying, "I like that. I kind of think that way." Koepka grew up in the suburbs of West Palm Beach wanting to play professional baseball, like great-uncle Dick Rote, a shortstop for the Pittsburgh Pirates and the 1960 NL MVP. The irony is that he was never big enough playing Cal Ripken baseball, ages 4 to 12, to be a power hitter, which he is now with one of the fastest club head and ball speeds on the PGA Tour. "If I could do it over again, I'd play baseball," Koepka says, 100% in no doubt. Koepka is clear that he wasn't a golf nerd during his 4 years at Florida State, where he was as an under-recruited and unsung All-American who never won until his senior year. Instead, he was a workout monster. He'd literally leave 100% drenched in sweat every time, said his college coach, Trey Jones. He only had one speed. Once he started his workout, it was just get out of the way. The same is true today in Joey Diovisalvi's gym back home in Jupiter, Florida, where Brooks was bench pressing 10 reps of 225 pounds, upon recovery from a torn tendon in his left wrist. Sidelined in January, he returned in late April looking bulked up and weighing 212 pounds on his 6-foot frame. He's still the same kid today that literally comes into the gym and literally wants to kill it, says Diovisalvi of the 28-year-old Koepka. He wants to bench press more than anybody on the PGA Tour. In addition to his strength, Koepka hadn't lost any speed off his fastball when he came back after 91 days without touching a club. When Harmon checked his numbers on TrackMan prior to the Zurich Classic, Koepka was producing ball speeds with his driver in the high 170s mph to low 180s. Said Harmon, "I was blown away. Managing Koepka through the boredom of his rehab was more of an issue than motivating him." In a soft cast for 2 months, Koepka remained diligent to the process, never missing a day in occupational therapy or physical therapy. He would work on his cardio, get his 8 to 10 hours of sleep every night, and take a nap every day. The 17 weeks leading up to a decision not to play the Masters were the hardest, most frustrating part of the recovery. This was not like the dislocated rib at the Arnold Palmer Invitational in 2015, when Koepka had trouble breathing between adjustments by physiotherapist Mark Wall. That was the first and only time Koepka had to withdraw in his career. 17 months later, a torn ankle ligament didn't prevent him from finishing T4 in the PGA Championship to secure a spot on his first Ryder Cup team. Going through the wrist injury, I talked to him and said, "Listen, I know you," Jones said. "Trying to tough it out isn't going to be the way to do this one. You're going to have to rest it." That was the concern of a lot of people. Because he can withstand some pain, he'll suck it up at any point in time and not say a word to anybody. The pain thing, he'd just work through it. So that was a concern. As Harmon said, there were some dark times sitting on the couch. He got some calls from people saying it was like Anthony Kim's injury, remembers Wall, who knowing Koepka's work ethic suggested the brace to protect and restrict the motion of his injured wrist. And then the worst nightmare occurred. Wednesday before the start of the Players, while hitting 3-iron on the backside of the range at Sawgrass, Koepka saw a golf cart in the corner of his eye crossing directly in front of him. He instinctively checked his swing. The force and pressure of 100 mph club head speed caused Koepka to dislocate the same left wrist that cost him the first 4 months of the year. After treatment in an MRI, Koepka's first swings on the range before the opening round were with a lob wedge, tripping teed-up balls. A few days later, he was shooting 63 in the final round, complete with an albatross. "The kid's tough." He added 2 more 63s in his next start 2 weeks later in Fort Worth, falling a few shots short of a red-hot Justin Rose. After a week off at home, Koepka scheduled the FedEx St. Jude Classic based on second and third place finishes over the last 2 years. Going into his U.S. Open title defense, Harmon believes that Koepka is in a better place now with his game than prior to Erin Hills, where he tied the previous Open scoring record of 16 under par, Rory McIlroy at Congressional in 2011. Among his peers, Koepka's breakthrough moment was the 2014 U.S. Open at Pinehurst, where he was invited to a practice round with McIlroy for the first time and followed up with a T4 finish, his first of 6 top 10s in majors. The following winter, after Brooks won in Phoenix, McIlroy tweeted, "Massive congrats to my boy at Koepka on his first of many at PGA Tour wins. See you in Jupiter soon for a celebratory drink." A year before he and McIlroy became boys, and 4 years before he was strapping the U.S. Open trophy into the leather seat of a private jet, on his way to a party in Las Vegas. Koepka was playing the European Challenge Tour, where he slept in cars, shared hotel rooms, and soaked up the atmosphere of traveling through Europe. It was in 2013 that Koepka and caddy Ricky Elliott were coming off a win at the Scottish Hydro Challenge and traveling from the Scottish Highlands to an Open qualifier at Sunningdale, south of London, when they got a flat tire. After changing the tire in the cold and rain, and getting only 2 hours sleep, Koepka shot 69 to 65 to qualify for his first Open. In States, sometimes it can be almost too easy. Koepka said in an interview with The Guardian. "The way you travel, the fact you always have perfect weather. It is a little different here. And so, too, is Koepka." One story FSU recruits often hear was the time in 2014 when Koepka flew to Tallahassee, days after finishing T3 in the Dubai Desert Classic. It was February, 43 degrees and raining. But Koepka threw on a rain suit and went out to play with the team. "Absolutely, Brooks was one we always talk to our current players about some of the things he'd say or do," Jones said. One of the lines he'd always use was, "Coach, it's only golf. How hard can it be?" By his own doing, Koepka likes to lay low, control his space, and stay off social media. It didn't surprise Jones when Koepka turned down the media tour in New York after winning at Erin Hills. He just said, "That's not me." With that comes a lack of recognition. Evidence of that occurred the week of the Players, when Koepka was working out with running mate Dustin Johnson at a gym in Ponte Vedra, when a woman working out at the facility asked Brooks to take a photo of herself and DJ. The next day the woman approached Diovis Alvi and said, "I'm so embarrassed. Was that Brooks? Yes, that was Brooks, the same teenaged Brooks with the chip on his shoulder for not being an Asian All-American, who did it his own way and won the U.S. Open on the longest course in the championship's history by 4 strokes. There's not 1 ounce of him being surprised he won the U.S. Open, said Harman. We went out to dinner last February and he held his hand up saying, I'm going to win a major this year. No doubt, he goes into Shinnecock the same way he did the Astros workout facility, still working hard, playing hard, and not in any way going to leave. Article tags, 2018 U.S. Open, Brooks Koepka, 2018 FedEx Street. Jude Tiger Woods led a group of 5 golfers included among Forbes magazine's annual list of the top 100 highest-paid athletes in the world. The ranking combines both salary, winnings, and endorsement money, with boxer Floyd Mayweather taking the top spot with a combined $285 million. Woods came in at no. 16, sandwiched between boxer Canelo Alvarez and NFL quarterback Drew Brees, with $43.3 million, of which $42 million came from endorsements. 3 other golfers landed in the mid-20s, with Phil Mickelson, $41.3 million, listed at number 22, Jordan Spieth right behind him at no. 23, $41.2 million, and Rory McIlroy at no. 27, $37.7 million. Spieth had the most on-course earnings of the trio with $11.2 million, but his $30 million in endorsements trailed both Mickelson, $37 million, and McIlroy, $34 million. Justin Thomas was the only other golfer to crack the top 100, listed at no. 66 with a haul of $26 million. At age 47, Mickelson was the oldest athlete to make the list, followed by 42-year-old Woods and 41-year-old Mayweather. Outside of Mayweather, the top American-based athlete to make the list was LeBron James at no. 6 with $85.5 million. Stephen Curry, $76.9 million, and quarterbacks Matt Ryan, $67.3 million, and Matthew Stafford, $59.5 million, occupied the final 3 spots in the top 10. Dublin, Ohio, police have released more details about the crash that injured PGA Tour player Bud Cauley and 3 others in Ohio. A report released Tuesday by Dublin police shows 37-year-old David Crawford was driving at the time of the crash near Muirfield Village Golf Club Friday night. That also injured former NHL Columbus Blue Jackets player James Wisniewski. Police say the car went off the right side of the road, hit a culvert and went airborne before striking a large tree. The car then hit several smaller trees before coming to rest in a ditch. Cauley suffered broken ribs, a collapsed lung and a leg fracture. He later said the accident was the scariest night of my life. No charges have been filed as of Tuesday. A massive volcanic eruption that blanketed areas of Guatemala over the weekend also impacted a nearby course that annually hosts a PGA Tour Latino America event. The Volcán de Fuego, or Volcano of Fire, erupted Sunday afternoon and sent plumes of ash and smoke that covered the ground for miles. It left at least 65 people dead, with thousands more displaced or otherwise impacted across Guatemala. Included among that swath of impact is La Reunion Resort in Fuego Maya, which hosted a Latino America tournament in mid-March that was won by American Ben Polland. According to a swing-by-swing report, the resort is only 6 miles away from the volcano and describes its location on its website as nestled in the shadow of 4 majestic volcanoes. Here's a look at some video of the eruption as seen from the course, as well as before and after shots that demonstrate the devastation of the eruption. Impresionante, así se vio la erupción del La administración del lugar informó que fueron evacuados los huéspedes y visitantes. At Twitter.com/FamiliaGatez, Ernesto Vélez, Aterveza, June 3, 2018. Este era el Hotel La Reunión antes y después de la erupción del Volcán de Fuego en Guatemala.